The last 10 years have seen a tremendous change in the way music is shared and learned, and it's coming much less from commercial recordings and much more from people sharing music on the internet and file sharing or making their own music and sharing it that way. I think it's very exciting, and I think it's just another example of the kinds of radical changes that have happened over and over again in the history of the music industry, from publishing sheet music to making player pianos that then went out when the sound of music got better, and various sort of changes in style between the 78 RPM and the LP, which created a possibility for albums. Just constant changes, and some people at every stage have gone out of business, and other people have moved in and made money. People are listening to more music today than they've ever listened to in the past. It's just they're listening to it differently in different ways, and I don't see that as a major problem for me personally. I see it as a problem for certain industries that may simply go out of business. They may simply disappear because other industries are going to take their place. It may be that it's not an accident that some musicians today are signing not with record companies but with touring companies or with other agencies that are going to put their music on, because the recording may not be the most important. The commercial recording sold for profit may not be the most important way of getting their music around anymore. It may be file sharing and live performances, selling T-shirts, selling tickets. Or it may be something that we haven't even thought about. It may be new ways of supporting artists. It may be voluntary donations for the music, as Radiohead has, I think, recently experimented with. And I think if musicians can find a way to get their music out, and if they can find a way to make a living, they'll do it. And the various industries that supported them in the past aren't necessarily going to be the ones that are going to support them in the future. In the last few years, I've seen an increasing number of students making their own music on their computers at home. And so you have home studios, home computer creation, and then dissemination of their own music that way in a massive scale. And so I think one of the things that happens is that the idea of making music becomes making music yourself and less with other people. And another thing is that everybody does it and everybody can get heard, which is something that has occurred recently because of the vast use of the internet to exchange files on. And it's not people necessarily only exchanging copyrighted files. They're often exchanging their own latest music, and that's a really active and important part of what I see here. Many of the students are themselves composers in a way that was, and published composers because they're doing it themselves in a way that was never possible before.